I'm a doctor and a senior lecturer in the University of Ghana, Legon. I'm a visiting professor in Warwick University in the UK. I'm also a visiting professor in Stellenbosch University in South Africa, and it's a pleasure to have you all here to share some of these incredible doses. Most of these things are on YouTube. They are also on Zoom as I'm speaking. Now, for those of you on YouTube, I've just been notified that I need to acknowledge most of you. You've got Kojo Prince, you've got Rebecca Anderson, Kwame Akoto, Katiu Sobodo, all of you. It's a pleasure to have all of you there across several places that you are. So thank you very much indeed for being here. But it will be a blessing to have your friend who is also here. So I want to start by telling you a story. In fact, what I'm about to share today is deep and it's pronounced. I won't lie to you, it's deep and it's pronounced. By the way, last week, I mentioned 10 books to read, okay? Last week, I mentioned 10 books to read. And if you have not read them, I want to see by hand those who have read even one of the 10 books, or those who have started reading just one of the 10 books. Have we read even one of the 10 books, okay? Just raise your hand. I want to use that as a way to tell you a story. Okay? Just one of the 10 books. Okay? Let me see those who have read one, just one. I mentioned 10 books here. The first book, in fact, I have a friend who is an atheist who doesn't believe in God at all. And he told me that now he has gotten 3 different scriptures. The scripture was one of the books I wrote. The scripture. He's got 3, the King James Version, the Living Standard, and then the one that follows the Concordance. All right, thank you. Now, so those of you who have raised your hand, you are the ones that read the books. I'm about to share with you a telling story. There is a story in France that I've borrowed from my mentor. My mentor is known as Ugochukwu Onyebo. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to share with you today can change everything in your life. I beg you, it can change every single detail of everything in your life if you pay attention. Last time, I explained those who hear and those who listen. Those who listen, they go deeper, they pay attention. That is more psychological, it's not physiological. Hearing is physiological, listening is psychological. So I beg you, pay more attention than you've ever done. Put your phone somewhere. Okay, put all noises away, because what I'm about to give you, a slight microcosm of it, when it passes back your mind, you will lose a lot. Because the information I have is deep and detailed. And I have to squeeze all of them to you. A poor man was walking along the road when he met a traveler. And the traveler stopped him and said, "My good friend, I see you are poor. Take this gold nugget, sell it, and you will be all you want to be all your days." The man was overjoyed. You know, he was so happy. He was overjoyed at the good fortune that he has. And so he took the nugget home. He immediately found out and became a prosperous person that he did not even sell the nugget. This is what I mean. The man became prosperous without even selling the nugget. But years later, he became a very, very, very rich person. Now, and so because now he has the money, one day he met a poor man on the road. So he too stopped that poor man and said, "My good friend, I will give you this gold nugget, which if you sell will make you rich." That's a word. The mendicant or the beggar took the nugget, had it valued, and found that it was only brass. What was the point? You see, the first man became rich by becoming conscious of the gold nugget he has within him. And he worked hard to manifest it in the present. The second man, on the other hand, because he didn't know he had the gift of gold, inside of him, okay, in order to explore. He remains so poor. When you know what is inside you, you harness it. When you don't know what is inside you, you don't harness it. Knowledge is a differentiator. Ladies and gentlemen, tell somebody, and normally when I'm teaching, that's what I would say, but this time type it in the page. Tell the person, type it there, that you have the gift of gold nugget in you. You have the gift of gold nugget. Do you know? Are you conscious of it? Are you aware? Ladies and gentlemen, without knowing, without knowledge, you won't even know that you have the gift of gold inside of you. Poor men look for cash. Wealthy men look for knowledge. Wealthy men, they will hardly, you would hardly see the billionaires talking about money. They will never do that. They speak of knowledge and value and environmental degradation and solar energy and biomass. That's what they talk about. You see, a value of a person is in the knowledge he possesses. Are you valuable? Are you useful? Because your life is the final expression of your thoughts. And so right now, if you are here and you don't like the life you have, you don't fix that life, you fix your thoughts. Knowledge is a very sacred thing, but people do not value knowledge as sacred. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about academic knowledge. I'm talking about a different kind of knowledge. So knowledge is sacred, but it has to be given the sacred place. So if a person doesn't have money, don't look for money. Don't trade your time with knowledge. Because what I'm giving you is a billion, it's a thousands of dollars for some people, okay? But because it might be free, somebody will not value it. And whenever there is an absence of knowledge, all human beings are animals. Are you aware? When there is the absence of knowledge, every human being is an animal. The only currency, the only currency that is universal in this world is knowledge. And at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you, what is knowledge? What is knowledge? Now, knowledge ideally comes from a Hebrew word, which is yada. And yada means light, or know, or observe. It comes from a Greek word, which is gnosis, or epignosis. Okay, epignosis has to do with additional, okay, additional knowing through observation or experience. So knowledge is the information or the fact of which a person is aware by virtue of experience, by virtue of education, by virtue of study, and by virtue of observation. Knowledge is the only asset in this world that creates other assets. I want to repeat that. Knowledge is the only asset in this world that creates other assets. Any asset you have that is not based on substantive learning, you will lose it. You will lose it in this world. So please know this, there are 3 levels of knowledge. If there is time, I will expatiate on that. The first level of knowledge is the revelational knowledge. The second level of knowledge is the theoretical knowledge. The third level of knowledge is experiential knowledge. And experiential knowledge helps us to get the 6 stages of knowledge acquisition. There are 4 types of knowledge and there are 4 processes of knowledge. Okay? I just want to flag this so that if there is time, I will explain that, because today I want to go to wisdom. And ladies and gentlemen, the knowledge I'm talking about, those of you who are in the educational field, I'm not talking about the Bloom's taxonomy of knowledge. I'm not talking about Webb's depth of knowledge. Okay? When a person is in the world of education, the person would have remembered and studied the Bloom's taxonomy, where you remember, you understand, you apply, you analyze, you evaluate, and then you create. No, I'm not talking about this kind of knowledge. The knowledge I'm talking about is the observation, the knowledge you observe by, I'll go deeper into this, get into the end. But my focus today is wisdom. What is wisdom? What is wisdom? Wisdom is the intelligent application of knowledge. So when a person has knowledge, today what I'm going to share with you, something that will just confuse some people. Because some people, I pose the question, a person can be knowledgeable, but a person is not wise. Because wisdom is putting divine instruction into practice to achieve a fulfilled dream. A person might have considerable knowledge. There's no doubt about that. Professors have a considerable knowledge. Professor of medicine, professor of archaeology, sociology, okay? They have a lot of, but that person will not know how to use that knowledge because he is lacking what? Wisdom. He's lacking wisdom. And so the person can be a professor of business, but he has no what? Business. He has no business. He has no application of the knowledge that he has. Let me give you an example. In the Garden of Eden, in Genesis chapter 3, in the Garden of Eden, when Satan, converted himself into an angel, asked Eve, Adam's wife, he asked him a question. Okay? And when he asked him, is it really so that God said you should not eat the fruit? Eve said, yeah, God said we shouldn't even touch it. And the day we touch it, we are going to die. Now, Eve had knowledge. Eve had knowledge. She had something we call head knowledge. So she was able to answer the devil and say, yeah, we shouldn't take it. But even though she had head knowledge, okay, she still ate the forbidden fruit. And the husband also ate the forbidden fruit. They were knowledgeable, but they were not wise. Because if you have the quantum of information in your head and you don't apply it, you are not wise. See, that is what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 11, verse 19. Matthew 11, verse 19. I'm not going to read this one. The other things I'll read later. Jesus said, wisdom is proved righteous by its works. Do you remember that? I know many of us remember. Wisdom is proved righteous by its work. So see, when a person is knowledgeable, but there is no work, then there is no wisdom. There is no wisdom proving the knowledge. So wisdom is a step further. Do you remember King Solomon in the case of the two women who came to him? King Solomon. Remember King Solomon, there were two women who claimed that, each one claimed that, she was the owner of a child, you remember? Solomon had knowledge of a mother's devotion to a child. Solomon had knowledge, I'm telling you. And because Solomon had knowledge, he did something. But in addition to the knowledge, Solomon displayed wisdom. He displayed wisdom. He used his knowledge to settle the matter. When you look at 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16 to 28, Solomon solved the matter, because he had knowledge and he was applying that knowledge. Wisdom is knowing what is obvious when it is still a secret. Wisdom. It is knowing what is obvious when it's still a secret. That is what my mentor would say. So ladies and gentlemen, please note, Oliver Wendell says something. Okay? We call him Oliver Holmes. He said that it is a province of knowledge to speak, and it is a privilege of wisdom to listen. I want to repeat that. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. You know what that means? What that means is that whilst I am speaking and you are listening, I am knowledgeable, but you are wise. When you listen, you are wiser. No wonder the word education, from the word educere, it means the progressive discovery of our ignorance. That is education, the progressive discovery of our. So the more you are getting educated, the more you got to realize that you are an ignoramus. You don't know. So when a person learns a lot and that doesn't humble that person is becoming egotistical. And ego is a self-inflicted importance of yourself. Now, let's establish the connection between wisdom and wealth. Okay, let's do that. Some people think that, you see, write it down somewhere. Write it down somewhere. Those who love wisdom will inherit wealth. Those who love wisdom will inherit wealth. And I'm about to define wealth. What is wealth? Some people, when you talk about wealth, this is what comes into their mind. Ha ha, that beautiful, luxurious car, that wonderful, luxurious house, that flying jet, and all of that. Please, ladies and gentlemen, in the Middle English, the word wealth stands for wealthy. Wealthy, W-E-L-T-H-E, wealthy. Or it comes from the word well or will, which means health, like the welfare of your person. So when we say somebody is wealthy, it implies then that the person has a wonderful welfare, the well-being. That is wealth. The well-being. So what is wealth? This is wealth. Wealth is a summation of your virtues, your gifts, your talent, your creativity, your values, your integrity, your loyalty, your sacrifice, your service, your impact before income will come into the picture. Before income comes into the picture. So wealth is a summation of a lot of things, your virtues, your creativity, your values. That is wealth. So see, this is going to shock some people. Wealth is a concept of God. Wealth, okay, the concept of wealth is part of your divine nature. It is your exclusive right as a creature of God to be wealthy. Look at the content there. When you have the root meaning, the etymology and the morphology of the meaning, it helps you to understand. The last thing that one can even talk about when we speak of wealth is income. Income is the last thing. But to develop, to underdevelop your potential and live in scarcity of these things, live in scarcity is a betrayal of this call. So please know, wealth is not in things. Wealth is not in a place. Wealth is not in a car. Wealth is in people. This is important. Put it down. Wealth is in people. If there are no people, there are no wealth. And that is why you will never be a wealthy person because you're a Christian. That is why you will never be a wealthy person because you're a Muslim. Wealth has nothing to do with religion. It has nothing to do with religiosity. It's critical. It's critical because sometimes some people are dependent on God. Because if the person doesn't have those things, value creation, that person is not going to exhibit well. Please know something. Wealth is a process. Money is an instant gratification. Wealth is a process. Wealth takes long to build. It takes long to build your loyalty. It takes long to build your virtue, your integrity, your humility, your kindness. That is wealth. When these things are there, money is nothing. It will come. That is why the asset of the wealthy man is patience, and the liability of the poor man is impatience. If you are taking the put it down, the asset of the wealthy man is patience. You build it over time. But the liability of the poor man is impatient. And when I say poor, it's not in terms of money. It is in terms of the mind. Because the person is poor in his mind, in his dress, in his values, okay, in his loyalty, in his integrity, in his humility. The person is poor in all of them. Now let me share with you why knowledge and wisdom will give you wealth. Okay, why wisdom will give you wealth. And again, by wealth, I mean loyalty, humility, virtue, value, service, and then income. Okay? Now, let's explore there because I'm taking you back into something, the ancient time. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to go and look at Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 4. It will blow your mind. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 4. I just want to use my screen and then show you something in there. Ezekiel chapter 28, and then verse 4. I pray I'm able to catch this thing and then show you. Yes, I think I can get it here. Because Because something, once you have an understanding of things, I just want to type it into Google. So for those of you, you can just watch the Google. I'm copying it in Google and showing you. So you can watch it on your screen. It says that, it says, by wisdom and understanding, you have gained wealth for yourself and amassed gold and silver in your treasuries. I like the way the New Living Translation, it said, with your wisdom and understanding, you have amassed great wealth. Now watch it. There is a connection between wisdom and wealth, which encompasses all other things. By wisdom, you have gained much wealth. What does that mean? Well, the best thing to do is to find out from somebody that we all know, and that is a man known as King Solomon. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know King Solomon. He was the Jewish king of Israel, of the United Kingdom of Israel. King Solomon was the son of the King David. And when you look at his reign, King Solomon ruled from the year 1037 to 998 before our common era, before the coming of Christ. Okay? He ruled for 40 years. Now listen, what I'm about to show you will blow your mind. King Solomon's throne was coated in pure gold. Once I'm showing you that, I want to show you, I just took a picture of this and I decided to, it was coated with pure gold. It was inlaid with ivory. The throne had 6 stairs. Look at the picture. It had 6 stairs, 12 lion statues, and a solid gold footstool all there. It had 2 larger lions. Look at the statue there, okay, where he's sitting on the throne itself. 2 larger lion statues stood on either side of the throne. Look at that. All of the goblets and the household articles in King Solomon's palace were made of pure gold. Look at the goblet. The goblet is that thing I've shown on the top left of your screen. That cup, that golden kind of glass cup. King Solomon was amassing in luxury. And I'm about to tell you something he said. And now, King Solomon was reported so wealthy that during the years of his reign over Jerusalem, the immense wealth, it caused silver to be considered of little value like rocks. King Solomon's was so wealthy that silver was considered as rocks. Like today, when you walk around, you see rock. That is how silver was seen. Nothing in King Solomon's palace was made of silver. That is the meaning. Nothing. Now, I want you to listen, please. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 14. And I'm building a point about the power of wisdom, wealth, and virtue. Okay. 1 Kings chapter 10 and verse 14. I want us to go back and pull out a point that I want to actually bring. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 14. Again, I'm typing this in Google and I'm taking as there. Okay. Now watch. Chapter 10 and verse 14. It says that now, and this is King Solomon, now the weight of gold that came to Solomon every year was 600, okay, 603 score, okay, actually 666 talents of gold. That is the weight of the gold that came to Solomon every year. 666 talents of gold. Then when they speak like this, if you don't take care, you will start having, headache. So I want to break it down by showing you something. Okay, this is the first mathematical analysis that can best be done. The weight of the gold came to this man, King Solomon, every year amounted to 666 talents. Now let's get the statistics very clear here. Solomon ruled for 40 years. Do you know how much is a talent? Or how much is a ton? 29.24 talents is equal to 1 ton. 24 talents is 1 ton. Now, we are told that King Solomon had how many talents? 666. Okay? So 666 talent is going to be equivalent to 22.8 tons, which is approximately 25 tons of gold. Now, please wait. Every year, King Solomon was receiving 25 tons of gold. Now, the question is, how much is a ton of gold? In 2020, 1 ton of gold was worth $64.3 million at the 2,000 ounce rate. $64.3 million. That was 1 ton of gold. So 25 tons of gold is going to be how much? You multiply $64.3 million times 25, and that is going to give you $1.6 billion. That is how much King Solomon was getting every year, $1.6 billion if he was alive today. But wait, he got this 24 tons of gold. How many years did he reign? He reigned for 40 years. King Solomon reigned for 40 years. So if you want to know how much he had by the end of the 40 years, it is 1.6 billion times 40, which will give you 64, billion dollars. Only in gold, though. This is only in gold. This did not include income that was coming from business. It did not include income that was coming from trade. It did not include income coming from the annual tribute that was being paid to him by all of the kings and the governors of Arabia. In fact, according to a recent source, it says that if King Solomon was alive today as I'm speaking, his worth is $2.1 trillion. If King Solomon was living here today, his worth is approximately $2.1 trillion. Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all of them put their everything together, they will not reach. The top 10 billionaires in the world will not get closer to this man. Now listen to what King Solomon wrote himself about wisdom and wealth in Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 24. Okay, Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 24. Okay, Proverbs 14 verse 24. I'm going to go to Google again and just type it. Okay, so this is what I got. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 24. It says this. It says, the wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields folly. I love this wise man. The folly of fools yields folly. Now, I like the way the Living Translation does it. It says, wealth is a crown for the wise. The effort of fools yields only foolishness. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, wisdom will allow a person to be wealthy. You see, we speak, I just put Solomonic wealth into perspective, and that was $2.3 million. And what people are looking at is his wealth. It wasn't the wealth. The foundation of that wealth was knowledge and wisdom. That was the key. It was the wisdom that led to all of this. Because once you have the knowledge and wisdom, you can use that to achieve anything in this world. And this is the beauty of why knowledge acquisition is very critical in every area of human life. Knowledge must be eaten by an individual person. It must be enjoyed. It must be eaten because it tastes good. Now, if you look at Proverbs chapter 8, verse 21, okay, King Solomon wrote the same thing there, okay? I don't want to read that because you can check some of these things later. He said, see, guys, men, families, nations, with a correct knowledge and wisdom, they will gain substantial treasures. Israel, as we speak, doesn't have much, but the only thing Israel trades in this world is knowledge. They trade knowledge when it comes to the machines that they produce for the world to use. This is a rule of economics established by God, that when you acquire knowledge and when you acquire wisdom, you don't look for wealth. Wealth will come to you. Wealth. By that time, you have the wisdom, you have the knowledge, you have the virtue, you have the value, you have the creativity. You can deny the rule You can ignore the rule. You can resent the rule, but it is still true. Knowledge and wisdom will bring wealth. See, Proverbs chapter 8, verse 18 agrees with that. Now, this proverb was part of Solomon's lengthy personification of wisdom that he wrote. There are two principles or two forces at work in this proverb. And I want us to please take note. Number one, wisdom directs men to labor and invest prudently for financial wealth. And it protects them from the mistakes that destroy wealth. Two, God blesses those who fear him and put their trust in him by gaining knowledge first and wisdom second. Believe it or lose it. These blessings are not taught in any business school in the world. So wealth must not be seen as a monetary thing. That is the last thing, but the greatest of it all is knowledge and wisdom. Now, I'm going to demonstrate how to gain godly wealth now. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to bring to your consciousness the 4 ways of earning. Number 3 is going to blow your mind. Okay? In fact, everybody here after today, you can go and start earning using this knowledge that I'm going to give you. Okay, I'll try and give you 2, and then next week I'll give you 2 because I want to go to the second point. Okay? First, note this down. Note down that learning is a foundation of wealth. Learning is a foundation of health. Learning is a foundation of joy. Wealthy people are seekers of knowledge. Wealthy people adore learning. They cherish creating value so consistently that it becomes a habit. The most substantive ingredient of a wealthy life is deep learning. And the more you learn, not the more you work, the more you learn, mia, the better you earn. You will earn the income you want to earn because you have learned the learning you got to learn. Poor people hate knowledge. Poor people, they despise learning. They despise learning. All they want is money. All they want is money without creating value. They do that so consistently that it becomes a habit. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you hate learning, if you cherish mediocrity, what I'm about to share here is not for you. But if you love learning, if you cherish knowledge, then you are welcome into what I'm about to say. Okay? So there are 4 ways through which a person can, and some of them, the second one is going to blow your mind, the second and the third one. Okay? The first one, you all know it already. The first way of learning is earning from what you do. Earning from what you do. You also earn from what you know. There's a third one, okay? And the fourth one, I'll talk about them later, okay? But the fourth one is when you leave a legacy, you can earn from that. So I'm going to just talk about the first 2. Okay? Earning from what you do. This is basically gaining from your income and salaries, which is as a result of your expertise that you bring around. The danger here is that you are in control of the forces that created what it is you are working on. So you're not in control. You're not in control of them. So when you stop working, what happens is that you stop earning. And you can't create big wealth because you don't have that learning again. You can't create big wealth at this level, despite your in-depth expertise and knowledge, because you are subject to whoever created whatever you are working on. So if it is a bank you are working on, okay, somebody has created, if it's a law, okay, somebody has created it. So some people work for 9 to 5 hours, okay, 9 to 5. That is fine, it's good. I do that, we all do that. But should also understand that if you work more than your boss, you will not earn more than your boss. That is why on Monday morning, the heart attack rate rises by 35%. If this income, salary earning, if that is your only way of earning, that means that when there's a challenge, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts the family. When somebody is hospitalized, there's a lot of pressure. It is not a good way now. And probably you will see that when the person hits pension, things become even rough. At the age of 60, most of them friendly diseases become our friends. Talk to our parents. Some of them will tell you my asthma. my hypertension, my diabetes, as if it is for them. At that stage of earning, okay, because that is the only income that is coming. You can't do that. And so we go to the second way of earning. What is that? Ladies and gentlemen, the second way of earning, a lot of people don't know at all. It is earning from what you know. And what I'm about to share with you, I'm telling you, by the time I finish, some of you will start doing your own thing greatly. This level, you gain income by achieving mastery. Say mastery. Type it there for me. Mastery. You see, during the time of you are working as a lawyer, as a banker, and you are earning money in the process, what is happening is that you are also learning in the process. But what you didn't do is this. You were not documenting the process. You should be documenting the process. You should be formularizing what you are doing, documenting it in a journal with the intent to replicate it. You become a consultant to other people who seek to excel in that field. I'm going to give you an example, and you'll be marveled. So you gain mastery. You focus on controlling the laws that are guiding any laws that govern the process of production. You seek to control forces upon which entities are built on. So you are learning, you see, you're on the job, but at that level, you can't achieve the real income because you are in control. You're in control of at least 60% of the factors of production. You are not the one in charge. So what do you do? What you do is that you need to gain more knowledge and document what you're doing. Take, for example, somebody who is a chef. So you're a chef. You're working in Golden Tulip. Master, don't you know that you can even make more revenue by teaching how to do the job of a chef on social media? You didn't know that you can create a blog, you can create a YouTube, and then, over time, you can even create a digital course, which, is something that we teach. And then you will now start how to store the food. You do a short video on the ingredients that go into preparing waakye, of the ingredients that go, you do a short video, okay, of how many water you need, how many oil you need, how many spices you need, how many daytime food you need, 3-course meal, what comes first. As a chef, you explain all of this, okay? Short videos and explaining this, you put it out there. But you see, if you are not being mentored or coached, you can't do that. And what is going to happen is that people are going to enjoy these things and enjoy these things and enjoy these things. And over time, people will love what you are sharing to them. You are giving them that knowledge in that your specialty where you are. Master, you are a teacher. How do you prepare lessons? You're not teaching anybody. Go and write it in a blog. Put it on social media. It's now free to log in and create a YouTube channel. And every day do a 5-minute training on how to prepare lessons, what to teach, how to go about. You're a mother. Do you know motherhood is not easy? Motherhood is hard. Motherhood is difficult. You are babysitting. Do you know how many people want to know the skills, the knowledge, the ingredients of how babysitting is done? You're not teaching people. You take your camera, you're a photographer. You're not teaching people the skills and the beauty of photography. You can generate income from this. Take it like a hobby. It's not a hobby over time because I have statistics. There's a mobile operator. There's a gentleman who is in Nigeria. He makes over $2.8 million for just showing you how to repair mobile phones. How to repair mobile phones, just like that. And just make it. You are a nurse. You always go to the Kolebu, you go to 37 hospitals, you go to places. You are a nurse. Do you know that you can sit on social media, show the step-by-step how nursing is done? You see, the reason why you're not able to do it now is because you have not documented your nursing process every day for the past 20 years you have been working. You have not documented it. But if you have been documenting and documenting and documenting and documenting, you will see that you become an expert in the area. And now you give that knowledge out in a blog. You give that knowledge out on social media. You give that knowledge out on YouTube. People start watching. People start getting into it. Oh, wow, this is how this thing is done. You can use an hour a day to do this. And over time, it will generate an income of significant proportion you never even thought of. The same thing can happen if you're a medical doctor. The same thing can happen if you're an engineer. You study law. People don't know how law is done. You can begin to teach basics of law, plumbing, carpentry. fashion designing, music, DJ. Some of you are good at talking about people relationships. Okay? The husband should have done this, the wife should have done that, they shouldn't have divorced, the divorce should have waited, they should be in it, and all of that. These things, if they are knowledgeable enough, codify them, put them down. I'm telling you, you don't know that until what you know becomes what you do, you don't know anything. And so people do not realize how income is generated. And that is why many people are struggling. Like I said, there are two other ways that you can generate income. These things, you don't even bother, you already have it. I'll talk about those ones next time on that. But for now, let's continue. Right now, I'm at the stage where I want to pour to you how you can change your personality, how you can change your lifestyle, how you can create generational wealth. In order to do that, you have to be exposed to 6 things and processes in life. I'm about to show you one today because it's detailed and it might take us a lot of time. Okay. The first one, and I'm showing you this thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you take what I'm about to tell you, I am telling you, people will gravitate towards you. You will speak, the world will come to you. It's not just, and you're going to learn something. Those of you who are academics and you want to learn, this is where you have to pay attention. The first one is known as self-development. That is finding out how things work. The second one is mentorship. Mentorship. The third one is going to work. The fourth one is not beating the system. Okay. I'll look at the rest, but today I want to talk about the first one because it's detailed. Finding out how things work. It's deep. It's deep. Unfortunately, many people don't do this, but I pray and I hope that those of you watching me will do this. Those of you who have invested in self-development eventually will have the knowledge to invest in anything and you will succeed in life. What you are doing now with me is called self-development. You are getting something. What you have to ask yourself is that if I have put $500 okay, or $1,000 on what you are hearing now, would you have paid for it? If you will not have paid for it, then you are yet to see the value of self-development. See, there isn't anything that knowledge can change. Take it from me. There isn't anything. I don't have money is not a problem at all. When somebody say, I don't have money, that is not a problem. You see, I always thought that was a problem. I thought that was a problem. Dr. Koe, I used to think that not having the money is a problem. No, no, no. No, I was confused. I was confused. I had double masters and PhD. I was confused, thinking that if I go and have higher level of education, I will gain more income. I was lost. It is not the lack of money that is the problem. No, no, it's not. Because Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 will tell you that it is a lack of knowledge that my people perish. So if you get the knowledge and the wisdom, you will change anything. Anything. But ladies and gentlemen, listen, to get the knowledge, you need to have a constant study. You need to have the constant finding out. You need to have that zeal of wanting to find out. You want to get a library in the home. People will buy screen TV, big one, curved TV, big one. No library. No library. You want to start acting intelligently by getting a library. You see, your library needs to prove that you're a serious student. If the library comes with certain things, okay, when I come there, I will notice that the person is not a serious student. Don't be casual when it comes to learning. Don't be lazy when it comes to learning. Learning is earning. Learning is earning. There's a man known as John L. Shaw. This man was a mentor to Jim Rohn. He said that When you find out something that works, put the information in a journal. Capture the ideas. See, so you want to capture the ideas in a diary so that you can do the next best thing. As you move around, you travel to Maldives, you travel to South Africa, put things down, write them down. Don't use your head as a filing cabinet. No, write it down. Repeat, repetition, repetition, repetition. Go over it. Write it down over and over and over and over, over and over and over again. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. You're taking a car. You watch people. And someday, ladies and gentlemen, the knowledge and the ideas will show in your bank account. It will show in your lifestyle. It will show in your personality. So the first thing to gaining incredible wisdom and wealth is find out how things work. Find out. See, let me tell you, if you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. If you want to be valuable, study value. Don't leave anything to chance. No, don't do that, okay? Make it a study. Some go through the day. That's what they do. They go through the day and the year with their fingers crossed, hoping and hoping and hoping and hoping, waiting for the grace of God, for God to show his creative powers in their lives. That's what they do. Let's leave it to God. Oh, God is alive. God is there. With God, all things are possible. God has given you the knowledge and the wisdom created in his image. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. So you want to be able to learn and use that knowledge to create whatever thing. Those great people who have created valuable things in the world, okay, these people are not better than you and I. They have their red blood cells and the platelets and all the other things that you and I have. They have it. So ladies and gentlemen, we've got to study. You've got to study the things that will change your social life. You've got to study the things that will change your economic life. You've got to study the things that will change your spiritual life and your personal life. Don't leave anything to chance. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life only to later discover that you lived only 1/10 of your life. That's not good. That's not. In order to find out things, you've got to be curious. Have that childish curiosity. You remember Jesus said that, be like a child. Because the child at the time was a humble person. Be like a child. If a child wants to know something, they will bug you. I'm telling you. They will worry you. They will bug you. Okay. The child will ask you, Mommy, why is the sky so blue? Mommy said, because the sky is so blue. He says, why? He said, because God made it like that. He said, why? Yeah, because God is so great and supernatural. Why, Mommy? He said, because it's a reflection of the sea, and the sea is blue, so the sky is blue. So many things. The child curiosity, they drive you to the brink. They worry you. Be curious like a child. Be excited like a child. Have faith like a child. Because once the child comes to you to ask that question, he believes in Mommy. He believes in Daddy, that Daddy is going to give the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, have the hunger for learning. Adults are too skeptical. Children are not skeptical. Adults, I don't believe it. Forget it. Just know it. There's nothing wrong knowing it. Just know it. Just learn it. Even if you won't use it tomorrow, learn it. You know, you can decide that I've learned it. I'm not going to bother anymore. So how do you show curiosity in your study? There are three things you want to do. Number one, and this is the deep thing. I'm going deep. Okay. Number one, read. Become a good reader. Leaders are readers. All the success-bound people I know in this world, they read very widely. Read and 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 read. Don't be a follower. Be a student. Be a student. Because see, listen, one book might save you 5 years if you read it. Just one book. Book like The Alchemist, The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Biology. Read. I don't know why I should read. Read. What am I going to get? Read. How's it going to help me? Read. Read. Did you know that there are books on how to be stronger? Did you know that there are books on how to be more decisive in this world? Are you aware? Are you aware that there are books on how to be intelligent? Intelligent, okay? How to be intelligent. There are books. In fact, I have about 11 books on how to be intelligent. Read and read and read. There are books on how to be wealthy. There are books. There are books on how to be a great speaker, how to be a great leader, okay? How to have better effect on people. Did you know that 100, achievers of this world and the wealthy people have written down books about how they did it? Are you aware? They've written books. Read. Once I'm talking about read, somebody is sitting up. Oh, you know, he's talking about read. No, this is it. I'm telling you the secret to yourself. The problem is not the money. The problem is not the problem. The problem is lack of knowledge. So we have to read. We have to read. People don't read them. That's the problem. But you see, gentlemen, there's something even beyond reading, and that is study. Study is different from reading. You see, reading can be done randomly. Reading can be a passive form of learning. But study is an art. It is a systematic research of a material and its source to arrive at a new discovery. So when you are studying, your goal is to challenge the original orthodoxy. That is why at the PhD level, when I was doing my PhD, we were told a PhD, okay, Doctor of Philosophy is the love for wisdom. And until you challenge somebody's thesis with your antithesis, you don't have a synthesis. Studying involves documenting, devotion, research, dedication, discipline for a predetermined outcome. It has to be done. Even if you are a charcoal seller, even if you are a tomato, you got to study. I'm telling you, because you have to document it by watching what somebody is doing. When I come to the third one, you see. So first one is read, but better still study. To be wealthy, you must trade your time to meet study. I'm telling you. And when I say wealth, for those of you who didn't know, wealth is more than even just income. Income is the last thing on the pyramid of wealth. Study generates a new pathway to creativity that produces whatever you want to study. Let me tell you some secrets on how to study. If you are studying something and it's difficult, okay, what it means is that your entire neurons are yet to be realigned. And so you don't have to stop. The problem is that a lot of people stop in the process of the reading and the studying. But you got to continue and continue and continue. After 21 days, your brain muscle will realign with themselves. The second thing to do after reading and studying is listen. 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 Get around achievers. Get around wealthy people. Get around people who have been to where you want to go in life. If you want to be a banker, get around bankers. If you want to be wealthy, get around wealthy people. If you want to be an intelligent person, get around intelligent people. But hang on. You may also learn from unsuccessful people. Do you know that? Some people are very poor. Learn from them. Find out what poor people are reading and don't read it. When you are around wealthy people, listen to what they say, how they say it, the manner they go about it. Listen and learn and listen and learn. Let me ask you this and tell me very well if you agree. Poor people ought to take wealthy people to dinner. True or false? Poor people ought to take wealthy people to dinner. True or false? Let me see whether I can get some answers here. Poor people ought to take wealthy people to dinner. True or false? I know somebody is sitting there. Why? Why? Poor people ought to take wealthy people to dinner. You know why? When you take them to the dinner, you listen to them. You see, if a guy is not doing well in life, one of the first things that guy has to do is to find a guy who is doing well in life. Don't you agree? Find out that guy who is doing well in life and offer to buy him his dinner. Buy him his dinner. And in the process, when you take him to Movenpick, to Kempinski, you think that you are spending money. Oh, goodness me. You are not. Have questions in your mind that you are going to ask that person. Write the questions down in your memory lane. Get him started with the drinks. If he tells you that he doesn't want to, say, no. Senior, please take the drink for me. I need you to take it. Keep it rolling. Get a status. Keep it rolling. Keep him talking. Get a status. Keep it rolling. Keep it talking. Okay? Get a main meal. Keep it rolling. Stretch the hours. Stretch the hours. Keep it going. Keep it going. Ask questions. Put it down. Have a small notebook with it. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you what my millionaire mentor has told me. Ask questions during the dessert. Keep it rolling. The crucial ideas, the crucial knowledge they are liable to drop in your lap can change your life. You can multiply your income by 3 or 5 times. You can multiply your knowledge by 3 or 5 times by talking to that person. And you are right. Poor people don't take, they don't usually take wealthy people out for dinner. They won't do that. That's a problem. Why? Why? Because they rather want the wealthy one to pay for them because they have it. They'll tell you, the master, what do you mean? You have a lot of money. You should rather pay for me. But you see, that poor person is still behind on his bills. He's struggling. He doesn't know that it is the knowledge you need from that man and not his money. You keep collecting money from the people. What has that done for you? Collect knowledge from them. Collect knowledge. Yes, you continue to beg and beg. Because I'm telling you, that lap of knowledge, that drop of knowledge he will put on your lap, in your palm, can change your life. You collect that money, you don't sit it down. The next time you collect the money, you're not sitting him down. You collect again. You don't sit down with him. So please, listen. That's number 2. Number 3 is observe. Observe. Get around higher achievers and watch them. Observe. Observe. This is why those people who have achieved in life, they have left clues. Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. Watch how that man is shaking his hand. Watch the man carefully. So go and sit and Movenpick, Kempinski, the Body Beat, top hotels, Hilton Hotel. Go to top hotels, Trump Hotel. Go there. Watch how they are shaking their hands. Observe. Watch how the lady is responding to the handshake. Observe. You see, people who do well in life, they do certain things over and over and over and over and over again. Those things become their habit. And if you are clever, and you pick them up, let me tell you something. If a guy is making $30,000 every month, I will watch how he walks. Maybe that is it. That's the secret. Just watch how he walks. Copy his funny little walk. Someone will say that is silly walk, but you could say that is $30,000 walk. Who cares? You see, until what you know becomes what you do, you don't know anything. You haven't gotten the income yet, but you are getting the work. Master, please be an unusual observant about what is going on around the world. Be a strange observant. Remember, there are two ways you see in this world. There are two ways. Number one is called sight. That is seeing with your own eyes with the physical things. Sight. The second one is insight. That is seeing with your mind to find answers. So sight is seeing with your eyes in order to see things. But insight, the word insight is it contains discernment. It is seeing with your mind to find answers. So you got to pay attention to both sight and insight. Don't miss anything. Focus. As you do anything, focus. Concentrate. Don't let your mind wander about. Concentrate. That is your killer point. That is your secret weapon. Concentrate. There's a book called the Reader's Digest. Do you know that Reader's Digest? That Reader's Digest will tell you that wherever you are, be there. Wherever you are, be there. Sometimes you are, but you are not there. You are there, but you're not there. Please, let me give you one quick assignment before I forget. Go and watch The Men That Built America. If you have watched it, watch it again. The Men That Built America. It will begin to teach you something. So these are I've just shown you the self-development, just one way out of the 6 ways to learn to achieve anything. It's just one. And that one way is what? Is to have a self-development, learning how things work. I've not come to go to work. But the first one we've looked at today is learning how things work. It's critical. It's important to learn how things work. Okay. And the assignment I want to give you now is go watch the video, The Men That Built America. If there is time, I'm going to show you something. Okay? But I have to tell you some things that are coming now. I told you the last time we met that there are 4 ways through which you can earn in life. I've discussed 2. Learning from what you do and then earning from what you know. I'll teach you the other 2 later. We shall discuss them. The third one will blow your mind, okay? Next week, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my mentor here. This is the good news. My mentor is known as Ugochukwu Omiogo. He is a master of knowledge, wisdom, and wealth creation processes. I'm bringing him here free. He will come and blow your mind away. Remember, I have also mentioned that there are 6 ways to change your personality, your lifestyle, and your wealth. I've just discussed one of them, which is the self-development. I will bring the others to your consciousness next time. Please take note. I will later show you the power of the mind over muscles the transformational effect of knowledge and the metacognition of your mind. I'll show you. The things blowing in my mind are so much, I don't even know how to pour them. You are going to see that knowledge is the gateway to the world unseen, and value is your entry ticket. The last time I mentioned, I'll bring to your consciousness how to vaccinate yourself against exquisites. Okay? That exquisites means the mind deadening thought disease. Everything begins with a thought. John C. Maxwell has expanded this thing into two. I'll show you that. I'm concluding gradually because of the timing here. I'll show you how to master the 3 easy ways to cure intelligent exquisites. When you are not intelligent, you got to be intelligent by force. Because you are intelligent. You are an intelligent being. The only thing you got to harness that. How to master your memory. It will blow your cerebral cortex when I show you that. I'll show you how to defeat disbelief and the negative power it creates. That's why they say that those who believe they can move mountains, they move. Those who don't believe they can move mountains, they don't. Ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you before we conclude today. Tonight, look at your lives and look at the lives of your parents, whether they are alive or they are gone. I want you to look at your life right now. And I want you to look at the life of your parents right now, whether they are alive or they are gone. And ask yourself this question. Do I want better? Do I want better? Look at the life of your parent. And if you say yes or no, type the answer there for me. Do I want better? Do I want better? If it is yes, type yes. If it is no, type no, because I'm about to share something with you. Okay? Look at the life you have now. And look at the lives of your parents. And ask yourself, do I want better than what they have? Or I want the same thing that they have? Look at your life. When this question was asked to 1.8 million people, only 0.3% said that they want the life their parents have. That's the life they want. The life their parents have. That's it. Only 0.8% of the population that was asked. In other words, 99.3%, the 0.2% wanted a better life. Please listen. If the answer is yes, I'm about to shake the memory lane of your life. I promise you, I will do everything I can to give you the right information, because the information are loaded. The right information for you that will build the foundation of your knowledge, your wisdom, and the wealth that we are creating. And by now, I know that everybody understands what I mean by this wealth. I will show you, because the information is a lot and I don't want to blow you out. For those of you who do not know the books I've recommended, please go read them. The first book is your Bible, your scriptures. Never read the scriptures again like it's a religious book. Let me tell you, today I was telling somebody, you go to church and that is when you read the Bible. You read the Bible because it's salvation. You should never read the Bible because it is going to give you salvation. No. If there was no salvation, are you telling me that you wouldn't have read the Bible? Because it's a powerful book. That book, I have atheists, agnostics who are reading. I have atheists who are reading it. Atheists are reading the Bible. Agnostics who don't believe in the truth are reading the Bible. Do you know why? Because they don't read it like a religious book. The Bible is a life coaching book. King Solomon's knowledge there, it expands. So when you are a doctor and you read the scriptures very well, it will help you become the best doctor you want to become. When you are an engineer, when you are a cook, when you are a lawyer, when you are a laborer, when you are an accountant, when you are a banker and you read the scriptures in total, your brain capacity will balloon. You become an excellent example of knowledge, wisdom, and wealth. Your wealth will be way more. You will not even touch your salary. The scriptures are designed to elevate our consciousness and increase the capacity of our cerebellum, raise the memory of our brain, our intellect, our neural system. And then we are able to apply this in real life as wise, intelligent creatures and abundant. Only few people are able to do that. Many people read these scriptures as a religious book. That is why they don't benefit from it. Don't do that. It's a life book. It's a life book. Because you remember when you used to study science Gast book, the Gast science book, you read it. Okay, you don't even think of it as a religious science Gast book, but you read it. Maths book, agriculture, social study. You read this book, okay, not with any book. That is the first book. I mentioned also The Alchemist, Think and Grow Rich, The Richest Man in Babylon, Biology, and other books I've mentioned the last time. Go to those of you who have not subscribed to the YouTube channel. Please do that. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. So that once I upload the petty videos that I do, a 5-10 minute video, you can get them quickly. Once you get them quickly, they will begin to help your mind. And you begin to now share the knowledge. We need a revolution of knowledge. We don't need money, I'm telling you. Money is the last thing you need. What you need is abundance and abundance and abundance and abundance of knowledge. Abundance of knowledge. Boom, boom. Ocean of knowledge. And I'm telling you, income will run to you every single time. Now, for those of you who are learning how to learn, study for 21 hours non-stop. I don't know how you're going to do that. But this is a secret I'm giving you. For those of you who are learning and you can't recollect what you've learned, study non-stop for 21 hours and then stop. In the process, you can eat. In the process, you can, drink and all that. But study non-stop for 21 hours. How you can do that? Okay, find out. And once you do that, your brain will reach a certain level of zenith, and your brain will begin to elevate itself in a wonderful way. Neuroplasticity, okay, this is an aspect of neuroscience. Okay, I will teach you that later, but I want you to start with this. Research shows that 97% of you will not be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a real pleasure having all of you here. The information is gargantuan, it's quite a lot, but because of time, I will not be able